I'm going to tie a March Brown spider, or my version of a March Brown spider, and this is a wet fly, so I'm starting off with a size 12 wet fly hook in the vise, and I'm going to use an 8/0 dark brown thread, and I'll just take a couple of wraps about the midway point to get it started, and I can come back through and trim off the excess. The rib that I'm going to tie in is just a small copper wire, so I'm just going to hold that to the side and get that started. Tie that in as well, and I'm going to wrap that down to just about where the bend starts in the hook, and I'm going to bring that up to my starting point, which is the midway portion of the shank. Now, I've been on kind of a kick here with dubbing materials, so you can use your favorite dubbing, but right now I'm on a UV ice dub kick, so I'm going to use a rusty ice dub. You can use whatever dubbing you like, or whatever mood you're in, but this is kind of a rust color, and that's consistent with my March Brown spiders. So I'm just dubbing a noodle on there about the midway point, and then I'll get that wrapped in, and every now and then I'll put in another twist just to keep it nice and snug. And I don't want a real big taper on this, just a nice cigar shape. Take another pinch or so. And just work on that taper up to the front. And maybe one more dab will do you. Alright, and once I'm pleased with the taper there, then I can bring my rib up through. And I'm just going to take nice, even wraps all the way up. And then once I'm up to the front here, I can tie that off. You notice I left about a 1/4 inch or so. I'm going to put in a little thorax to this. And as you might guess, I'm going to use a UV black for that. So I'm just going to take a small pinch here, and I'm going to put in a thorax. And then again, I'm going to leave enough room to put my wet fly hackle in there. So get a good pinch, dub that noodle on, and then I'm just going to take my turns here to make that thorax. And once I'm happy with that, then I can come back through and I'll add my hackle. And for this, I'm going to use a soft hackle hen for my legs, which is the material I use most often in my wet flies. And then I'm just going to clean up the bottom portion of that. And then I'll pull it by the tip, and I'll just pull all of this back, and I'll tie this in by the tip. So then I can just take that, hold it to the side, and tie the tip in. And as I make my wraps to secure it, each wrap is going away from the eye, and then I'll make sure that you don't crowd the eye when you get to the end of it. So now I'll just hold it here at the top by the tip, and I'm going to wet my fingers, and I'm just going to try to lay these on top of one another. And as I wrap, I'll do the same thing. So I'll just continue to pull everything everything back as I go. And when I have that wrapped all the way to the top, I can tie it in by the stem. And then I'll pull everything back, and I'm going to tie in the stem to the top as I build out my thread head. and that way I can just come back through and break that off. Now I can whip finish this. And plenty of turns, and that'll help build out the head as well. And I'll come back through and clip that. And now for my wet flies, I like to put a good head on here, so I'm gonna just put a dab of head cement. And that's it. Like I said, I've been on this kick with this UV ice dub. I really like it. You can tie this in. If you don't have ice dub, you can use your favorite dubbing in that same sort of configuration. And this is a good, just generic wet fly pattern too. So if you want to change up the colors, certainly just kind of a nice generic pattern to tie. But that is my March Brown Spider.